Everyone, it's Pastor Paul again. Um, Hope you're having a good time going back to school. For this week's Iconz devotion, I want to talk to you a little bit about spiritual disciplines, important things you need to do to make sure your spiritual life is strong. Now, it's important we go back to school, right? And it's important that we learn to study and to do our homework and listen to our teachers because that really helps us to grow as a student and to do well in our exams. So, today I want to talk to you about spiritual disciplines, things we need to do to make sure that our faith is strong and we keep growing in God. Now, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to push my laptop camera down so you can see my hands. Yep. What I have here is a few cards which I put some pictures on, and I want to show you some of these pictures to talk about important things. So here we go. I've just taken 5 examples of things that are important for the Christian life, and let's start talking about them. The first one here, you notice, you can see it's to do with communion, the Holy Communion or the Lord's Supper. Now, this is important because when we do it, it's coming to worship God, to remember what God has done for us. And very important with the Holy Communion is the reminder that we're supposed to declare what God has done for us in our lives, to tell other people of the love of God. So that's one important thing. Here's one of them. Yeah, it's easiest way. Second one is money. Well, when we go to church, one of the things we do is we give offering because that's a way to worship God and also to help the church to carry on doing the ministries and to help people and to do wonderful things. Without money, we can't do things. So that's one of the second disciplines. The third one is very important, of course. Most of us know this one. It's about reading the Bible. It's very important. It's the Word of God. And we read the Bible, God speaks to us, and we learn about what we need to do and what we shouldn't do. So that's very important. The next one is interesting too. We come to church regular to listen to the preaching. Now, some people say, well, why do I need to listen to the preaching? Well, it's because we get together as a group of people to worship God, and we have to listen to what others have to say, people who know the Word of God better than us to teach us what God is saying. So that's a very important thing to do. And here's the fifth one I want to talk about. This is very important. I think we know what this is. It's about prayer. Prayer is so important for us to get to know God, to speak to Him, to ask Him for things. And basically, as we pray, we learn not to be so selfish. We learn to pray for other people, for people in need, people who are sick, for the suffering people around the world, and for things that we ask God to help us with. So that's important. Now, here's the problem really. You see these 5 things, and sometimes we get lazy. We say, well, I don't really want to do some of these things. So, for example, some people say, well, okay, that's communion. But I don't need communion. Why should I come to church for communion? I don't want to talk about Christ. I'll just live my life as it is. And so we think that's not so important, and we just turn our backs towards it and say, hey, not important, and we just put it away. And we say, hey, it's not important. I'm going to leave it this way. But the next one really is money. Money, 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 money. Well, it says, look, I don't want to give money. I want to keep money for myself. Why should I give money to the church? After the church is so rich, people don't need the money. I need the money. And we make all these excuses. So we may say, I'm not going to give money. I'm going to turn my back towards money. So that's not important. And so we take and pick and choose things. Well, that's that. Oh, here's reading the Bible. Well, they said, well, I think I'll do that. Okay, let's be fair. I can do it alone at home. I'll read it a couple of minutes a day, and I think I'll do that. So we'll keep that part. And then, well, there's other things. Whoa, okay, here it is. Going to church to listen to the preacher. It's so boring. I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm not. So they said, well, I'm going to turn my back and I'm not going to do that. So that's not important to me. And we keep picking and choosing. And so we say things like, how about prayer? Oh, prayer is good. It's easy. I just say a few words to God at night before I sleep, and I'll do that. So we keep that. And they say, well, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And so what we have done really is that we have turned our back to some things. We have chosen a few things and we say, well, the rest we don't want. Well, I'll just keep the praying part as easy, and maybe I'll just read my Bible once a week. That's fine. Or when it comes to things like going to church, listen to the preacher, oh, I don't want to do that. Giving money, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Oh, Holy Communion, sharing about Jesus Christ, oh, I'm not going to do that. So we pick and choose and we turn our backs to certain things, and we think that's fine. And so we have that. Some things we turn the other side away, and some things we keep. But you know something interesting? For God, that's not true. It's not. God says that all these things are important. So we think about it. God says, don't turn your back on anything. All of these are important. If you turn it all this way, He will see for God, prayer is important, but also going to church, listening to the sermon is important. Aha, reading the Bible, yes, we agree it's important, but also giving money to the church is important to help to meet the needs of other people. Having Holy Communion and sharing about God is important. So we just can't turn our back on all these things. We have to grow in all these areas. So I want you to think about that this week. And I hope you have a wonderful week.